Welcome everyone then to another pre-match video on Swans cast. Big one this week with Man City. So I've got with me today Lee. Hi Lee. And
Hello.
John as well, two regulars, and then
Hello.
also a debut for Alid. So welcome Alid.
Yo, thank you.
So first of all, before we get into it then, just want to say thank you for everyone for the ongoing support. It's been a good start so far. I think it's better than we all expected. And just want to say thank you. And anyone that is watching and does like what we do, don't forget to subscribe. It does really help us grow as a channel and lets us know you like what we're doing. And I also want to say as well a thank you to someone who's going to be a guest appearance in this video as well. So Amy Clement for providing her predictions in a small video we're going to include later on, but we'll get to that in a bit. So first of all then, tomorrow, so Wednesday the 10th of February, you could say a little bit of a rematch or opportunity of revenge against Manchester City in the FA Cup. So everyone probably recalls 2 years ago, the team that knocked us out, questionably, which you would say potentially if VAR was a factor might not have been the case, but regardless, they haven't lost the game in the FA Cup since, and we're playing them again tomorrow. So how are we saying about this match then? To start with you, Lee.
Yeah, well, you can't have Swans Man City in the cup now without talking about that game because it was ridiculous, and I hate it when they talk about Pep winning the did he win that year, like the domestic treble, didn't he? And they were sort of had all the headlines for that, and they definitely should have gone out to us that year. So still bitter. Must be what Brentford fans feel like all the time.
Got anything to add then, John?
No, I don't.
Lee, sorry.
That was pretty much it, to be honest.
Yeah, John, anything to add?
No, I mean, we scored one of the best goals I've ever seen in our Man City game as well. I'd like to chuck that in. I mean, that counter-attacking goal. Was it the Danda finish when the build-up play? I mean, that was one of the best goals I've
Selena, I
ever
think,
seen.
scored that goal.
Chile,
yeah.
But,
Well, that's fine.
but
I think I was going to say there's something that Selena will always be remembered for, but you just called him Danda, so maybe I'm not correct saying that. but yeah, something that Selena will always be remembered for his time at Swansea is scoring that goal against his former club, and kind of for him it was proving a point, but I guess it didn't quite work out for him in the end. But still, we got that memory. So Alid, obviously you're new to the videos on this channel. So what do you make of this game coming tomorrow?
I sort of hope that they don't go out half-heartedly. I hope they, not such revenge, take of it as a new clean sheet, clean sheet,
Clean
chance,
slate.
I guess, and that's the one, new clean slate. And I believe they are currently Premier League leaders, are they not?
Yeah, they've kind of made a gap of the top of the league now. It looks very comfortable, which it didn't a couple of weeks ago, where all of a sudden they've kind of taken that by the scruff of the neck.
So, I mean, they could potentially play maybe a weaker side, rest those who have been, playing in the wins in the Prem and who have like made that gap. But at the same time, they could then totally underestimate us, and we are talking about Pep, so I mean, he's a good manager. So
was it Cheltenham they played last? They did go ahead. There could be the whole FA Cup upset chance, but you said about the first team having rests. I think even if they rotate their squad, it's still a top-end Premier League squad that's going to be playing us. They just might not have the bonding of playing regular, if you like, that the first team would have, but still going to be difficult regardless. A couple of things about this game then before we talk a little bit more about what we're expecting. Man City have won 12 of the last 14 meetings between both of us. The two they didn't win out of those last 14 were both draws. So Swansea haven't beaten Man City, and the last time we beat them was in 2012. You might remember a 1-0 victory at the Liberty Stadium with a goal by Luke Moore. So that was the last time we beat them. Swansea have reached the FA Cup quarter-finals in 2 of the last 3 seasons. I'm sure a lot of people are aware of that one. But that is the first time then, when we did it those twice, since 1964. So there's been a big period where we haven't really done much in the FA Cup. But recently, I guess we've been a little bit more successful. Man City have won 18 of 21 FA Cup games since Pep Guardiola has been a manager. And Swansea have lost 7 out of the last 8 FA Cup ties against Premier League opposition. So now I've said a couple of those things, does that make you feel more or less confident?
Yeah, easy win.
Easy win. But yeah, no, I think you're right to what you said, Ali. It'd be good to just sort of like go out there and give it a go. And I think realistically, that's the expectation and what we should be all happy with if that is the case. We're probably, we're up against it. Everyone's going to love it if we manage to pull off a massive scalp, but just give yourself a little bit of credit, and even if you lose, come away looking good. Do we think we should focus on this then, having said all that, or take the league and the importance of the league into consideration a bit more?
I mean, it's that old dilemma, and I mean, you could put out a strong side tomorrow, and you risk picking up an injury or two, or you're playing against a quality side. So I mean, you could concede 4 or 5. I don't want to sound negative, but I mean, that could dent the confidence, and then it could derail the promotion push. So it's a tricky one. I mean, I suppose it all hinges really on Cooper's team selection. I mean, it's a difficult one. I mean, obviously we want to go out and we want to give them a good game because they're one of the best sides in the world at the end of the day. But at the same time, we've got other sort of priorities as well. So it's a tricky one, to be honest. Personally, I'd say make a few changes and don't put all our eggs in one put all our eggs in one basket in a way, and sort of push more for the league rather than going all out tomorrow. Personally, that would be my choice. But it's an opportunity as well to go out and sort of and give show what we're made of against one of the best teams in the world. So I mean, it's a tricky one. Yeah, I think a lot of it will hinge on Cooper's team selection, I think.
Yeah, that's fair enough. What do you think, Lee?
Yeah, I've been back and forth with this. I'm not really sure. I think like when the draw was made, I was thinking, yeah, we got to go for it. And then now with our sort of league position, I was thinking maybe dial it back a bit. But I think just you got to go for it. Like I know we had Man City at home 2 years ago, but there's no guarantee that you rest a few players and then we're guaranteed to go up next year. Then you may not have a good FA Cup draw for years, because I remember like when I was younger watching the Swans, watching the FA Cup draw, praying for these draws. They seem to be coming more often than not now. So I think like Cooper as well probably will want to test his side against the best, won't he? So there's that sort of element there that you do want to try and go at it. So I think go for it. And I know February's a bit of a congested month as well, isn't it? So he's going to have to rotate in the league at some point anyway. So I think just and there's not going to be there's not going to be a player in that squad that doesn't want to play in that game. So if he has to if for example he was going to drop Connor Roberts because he's played every game much this season, he's not going to be happy with that, is he? Not playing against Man City.
No, that's true, and that's a good way to look at it. Different sort of insight, I guess, looking from maybe the player's eyes and stuff like that. But Alid, what do you reckon then? League or go for the cup?
I've been the same as Lee, to be honest. All week I've been debating what I want, whether I want Cooper to play a rotated squad and just take the hit, go out with the FA, concentrate on the league. But from what I saw from Cooper's interview from the other day, I'm pretty sure he said that there's always something to lose, whether it's the FA Cup or a league or whatever, and that football's a competition. You always have to compete no matter what. So I have a feeling that he's gonna put out a relatively strong squad because obviously, as mentioned before, they are one of the world's best teams at the moment.
Yeah.
And I think rotation is a possible anyway. I think we've got the depth, especially with the the new signings that have come in, whether that be on loan or full time. I think we can be a threat, whatever squad we put out, but we might have to soak up a lot of pressure before we get any chances and that sort of thing.
Yeah, that's a fair way to look at it. I think I've been not negative, but when I've sort of thought about it or made comments on predictions and stuff, like I expect Man City to win the game. Obviously, I would love it if Swansea can do it, but I wouldn't be disappointed if we don't. And I would rather have success in the league over this, because even if we beat Man City, there's still a couple of games, and I know it's like good to have a cup run, and I wouldn't not have a cup run if the opportunity's there, but I wouldn't want to put the extra resources into that, and maybe we go to Sheffield Wednesday on the weekend and don't win that as a result. But having said that, it's right, like momentum is key, and you don't want to lose the momentum. You don't want to make too many changes that it just looks disjointed. So I think maybe a little bit of expect to see a little bit of rotation, but a strong team nonetheless. So for example, maybe you rest AU, start like every league game, or rather than maybe one or two if he was not available, and you play Morris, for example, or like you mentioned Connor Roberts, Freeman's just come in. I think Areola is available, Cooper has said, and so is Corey Smith. So potentially he comes back in, and he's a player that's around the first team. So it's making changes, but you're still looking quite strong. And I think we've mentioned previously we often make changes in defence anyway. So I would expect to see a couple of those. But otherwise, not maybe that much more. So there's still a strong squad and leaves us competitive. And yeah, I don't think we'll have enough to do it, but give it our best shot. I hope that's what we can do.
I think just thinking of that as well. I think Sheffield Wednesday play tomorrow night as well, don't they? Or
they play tonight I think. They play in
they've got a game
Wickham.
Got a game midweek anyway, haven't they? So and they're going to have to change it around throughout February. It's like 7 games, isn't it? In a couple of weeks.
I want to say theirs is a championship game, not an FA.
Yeah, there is a league game that they've got. Yeah, they've got a league game.
Also, looking at it from Man City's point of view, I'm pretty sure they play Tottenham on Saturday afternoon as well. So obviously that's going to be in the back of Guardiola's mind as well.
Yeah, and they've just had Liverpool.
They got a horrendous couple of fixtures now. I think you said they've got Tottenham, and then I think they've got Arsenal and Everton, and then they got the Champions League game all in February.
Yeah, so he's probably going to make a couple of changes, but who's he going to bring in? Like Ferran Torres still.
Exactly. So yeah, they've got £60 million talent waiting in reserve. So the changes that they make, they're going to be strong regardless. But
Jesus didn't start against Liverpool, so he's probably going to start.
He probably will start.
Who else is there? Like,
it's all right. And it'll have in back pocket.
Well, okay. So a little bit of insight. We will discuss a little bit more about our team news and stuff. But first of all, first guest appearance for anyone on the channel. So I'd like to welcome Amy Clement. She's done a little video on her predictions, what she's expecting. So give that a watch now, and then we'll have a little bit of a conversation about that afterwards. So.
Hi everyone, I hope everyone is doing okay. My name is Amy and I am a big Swansea City fan, and I'd like to thank Swanscast for having me on their channel, letting me have my say before the Man City fixture. So just wanted to also say thanks to everyone who showed support on the video I did with Talk Norwich City. I've had so many nice conversations with people following on from that video, and it's been an absolute joy. So thank you so much to everyone for that. So the Man City game tomorrow, I'm so excited about the game. I think it's such a great opportunity for the Swans to see how they play against the top side, to be honest. Like, we've been playing well against Norwich, not so much against Brentford, but we've played really well, really good football the last couple of months, and to be able to put that against the top Premier League team, I think is such a good thing for the team, and should give them a lot of confidence, I hope. So yeah, I'm really excited. I obviously a bit nervous. If I think about it, I get a little bit of butterflies. But yeah, I'm really excited about it. And I mean, in terms of the team, I personally, if I was in charge, which I'm not, I'd go for an unchanged team from Norwich, because I think they were just fantastic. They were so solid defensively. I think everyone had a good game. I think we didn't lack in any area of the pitch, and I think that, that's what you need against a team like Man City. What we have is great depth in the squad, and whatever Mr. Cooper chooses to do, I think it will be fine. I feel pretty confident with the whole squad that whatever team he puts out, we'd be able to give a good performance. So that's at least a good thing. I just want to say I was so impressed with Jay Fulton. Like, I have tweeted about him quite a lot, and I think he is quite underrated by Swans fans, but honestly, I don't think he does anything wrong for me. I think he's absolutely fantastic, and I know that he's in that midfield spot where we'd kind of swap in maybe Smith or Dander depending on the opposition, but I think we play our best football with him. So I'm hoping to see Jay Fulton in the squad for sure. And I mean, in terms of the score, I wish I was just confident enough to say, yeah, we've got it. But, you know, this is Man City we're talking about. I heard all about Phil Foden on the Swans YouTube channel. I'm absolutely terrified of him now. So I think it's going to be a really, really tough game. I hope that we can put in a shift and, you know, show Man City that we're a team that can play. And I have no doubt that we will do that. But the result, I don't know. Let's hope for a 2-1 Swans, a late winner from Andre Ayew. I mean, what a dream that would be. But yeah, I'm very excited and I'm looking forward to chatting with everyone about what they think. And yeah, so thank you so much to Swanscast for having me. Very much looking forward to watching your videos and working with you a bit more in the future. And I hope everyone enjoys the game. Have a gin and tonic, have a bag of crisps, and have a good time. See you later.
I actually got some gin from Christmas downstairs.
Yeah, I know that.
Is it pink sparkly stuff?
I don't know. Nia can't drink anything anymore, can she? So I've got to drink it all.
Oh yeah.
There's like 3 bottles, I think.
Pint. I'm gonna have a pint, I think. Yeah, I broke the seal now after dry Jan, so it's all clear now.
Thank you very much for that video then, Amy. Really appreciate that. Some good views and some positivity and optimism there. So calling a 2-1 win for Swansea with their last minute winner for Andre Ayew. How much we would all love to see that. A couple of things though I picked up on in the video. Jay Fulton then, underrated. I would say I probably agree with that. But I was trying to think about it, and out of our midfield, he's probably the most experienced out of, like, obviously you've got Grimes, you've got Fulton, Smith, Dander, who plays there. I'm excluding Horahan because he's obviously new. But Jay Fulton actually played for us in the Premier League quite a bit. So I think maybe a lot of fans forget sometimes that he is probably our most experienced midfielder out of the ones I've just mentioned.
I think it's quite a common thing for that position as well. I mean, you see a lot of CDMs or holding midfielders in a lot of teams throughout the leagues, and because they just do the neat and the tidy, they break a play and move it on. Yeah. They don't get as much recognition. But I mean, yeah, I would argue that he's not so much underrated now. I think a lot of people are starting to see what he brings to the side. But I mean, over the last 2 or 3 years, yeah, I think he is definitely a player that gets overlooked slightly. But again, that could come with the territory of playing the position that he plays.
Yeah, and I think that's maybe what she was trying to say, isn't it? Like, now he's getting noticed, but he's definitely been underrated in the past. Go on, Lee.
No, I just saying. I think now he's elevated his game this year. Like he's just gone. Not that he was playing bad before again, but I think he's taken it up another level again, like most people have. And I think Amy was right because she said about like him dropping out with Smith, and I think that was probably the easiest one to rotate. Fulton out for Smith and Fulton out for Smith and Dander coming in. So it's sort of one out of those 3. But I think you can't drop him at the moment.
Yeah,
again, I just don't see.
I don't know which ones are the 3.
First name on the team sheet.
I don't know which one of the 3 we can drop at the moment. Really, I think they're all playing very well. And Scott is not here now, but she also mentioned in the video that we play some of our best football and with Fulton and the team. And we spoke in the last video that Scott was in how he called Jay Fulton a flair player, and you know, in ways he's shown now this year, he's got the odd flick and touch that make the pretty goal. He had that finish earlier in the year that was like a bit of a weird one, like from a weird angle, sort of curled it into the top of the goal, and that finish the other day against Rotherham as well. So he's definitely neat and tidy when he wants to be, as well as being like a bit of a hard tackler and grafter in that way. So he kind of mixes up his game, and he can offer quite a lot of things in the middle. Anything you'd like to say on Jay Felt and Aled? What's your views?
I mean, I agree with everything that's been said, to be honest. I think when we need it, he can slap in a slide tackle and win the ball when we need it. And I think Grimes is similar with that sort of, he can get down and dirty. But going back to Fulton, when we need it, he's there. And I think when he gets tired, but he can sort of slack off, but every player can do that. So overall, I think, everything that's been said is right about him.
Yeah, okay, fair enough. The other thing then, looking at the other side, so we've got Manchester City, and if we're going to label anyone out to be a key player, Amy mentioned Phil Foden, and you've seen my bet builders of late with Man City, and I've got him down as a shot on target like every game. He was their top goal scorer earlier in the season, but I did have a check, and he's on 10 goals for Manchester City in all competitions. Sterling and Gundogan are on 11. They're only 2 ahead of him. He's also made 6 assists, and that's in 28 games. So he's definitely, considering this is his first season of proper involvement, I know he's been mentioned and he's been Euro there and sort of picked up as a future prospect in the past. But he's definitely a dangerous player. He's so young and he's just sort of learned from the likes of David Silva, and he's quite scary actually, the talent that he's been showing this year. So Phil, if he starts, what are we thinking about Phil Foden tomorrow?
Yeah, I mean, he's not bad, is he? Like we said before, they've got talent coming out of their ears, and he's been class this year. Again, he's just another one who's stepped up again. Really frustrating because I keep taking him in and out of my fantasy team, and then he drops him, and then when I do take him out, he has a worldie like he did on Sunday.
That was a good goal.
So I'm not even sure if he is going to play, to be honest. The way that Pep rotates it, I know he played against Cheltenham, didn't he, in the last round? But then
I think Kevin De Bruyne's out, isn't he?
You can't second guess what sort of team he's going to play. But yeah, if Foden plays, he's going to run the show, isn't he?
Bernardo Silva could come into that role in the middle. Well, he plays anywhere on the front three, really. So what I'm saying, in that role in the middle, you just don't even know. And then they don't even have a striker sometimes, so you can't guess what he's going to do, really. Phil Foden then, John?
I agree with Lee, too. I'm not even sure he's going to start, because considering they're playing Tottenham on Saturday, I mean, their squad's depth is ridiculous, and I mean, I'm sure they can bring in 60, 70, 80 million pounds worth of talent out of the reserves, probably. But didn't they played without the number 9 against Liverpool as well, didn't they? So One I think is keep an eye on is Gabriel Jesus. I think he's going to come in with a point to prove. Mind, I'm pretty certain he'll start, because he's more than likely going to start a main striker against us. So, but yeah, Phil Foden's quality, everyone knows. He's David Silva's long-term replacement. Even Pep Guardiola's come out and said that over the last couple of years. So undoubted quality. Yeah, but I think it's a question mark whether he will start. And obviously, if he doesn't, then it's got to be a slight positive for us.
Definitely, I think we're all hoping that he doesn't end up on that team sheet, at least the starting 11. Aled, Phil Foden, and anyone else in the Manchester City squad that catches your eye?
I mean, with going with the Phil Foden thing, I agree with everything that's said, but what we need to remember as well is that Cooper's obviously, trained him, and he was in that England squad that won the World Cup, right? That youngster squad. But at the same time, I think Cooper isn't blind to potential and capabilities of players. So I think even if he does end up playing, there's going to be something there in the game plan to close him out, whether that be a man marking or some other form of method of dealing with him. But than that, I think, as John said, probably Gabriel will come into the side as a main striker.
So Pep has come out and said he's going to take a strong squad to Swansea.
Yeah, they're clever with that, aren't they?
Yeah, with some second team.
They're clever with that.
So whatever.
Sorry, my mic again.
No, it's all right. I was just going to say it's just a strong squad with some second team players. So whatever that means, but yeah, go on.
No, I was going to say they're clever in what they say, really. Like Pep said, he's going to play a strong side, and Cooper said he's going to play a strong side as well. But it just means that whoever they play, he considers them to be a strong side. He's not going to say, "Oh, I'm going to drop my first team players and play all my second string players."
Yeah.
When they say strong squad, it just means they're going to, whatever they put out, they think is strong.
Yeah, exactly. One thing we can hope, though, is if they get a penalty, that they're not going to score it, because their record's not been great this year from the penalty spot, but no one ever luck. There's been talk about Edison. There's been talk about Edison being the best penalty taker in the squad and taking over the duties, so maybe they'll try who knows, but hopefully we won't concede.
Woodman's had a good season, right?
Yeah, penalty shootout. And
Woodman's been good at penalties. Yeah.
He has been. How many? He's saved a couple this year, hasn't he?
Didn't he save some last season as well?
He's been decent with them, I think, since he's been down here. But Ale did make a good point there. I think we've all passed up and over. Cooper worked with Foden, didn't he, in the youth setup? So he's going to know a little bit about it. But how much that's going to aid us in terms of knowing how to defend against him, we'll have to wait and see on that one. Okay, so some good discussion there. So everything we've said and talked about so far, let's have a look at what we expect to see in terms of the team news and what we're going to go with for our score predictions. I'm not going to include the score predictions in our little league table for this one, being a cup game. I didn't with the last cup game. But we'll do it just for a little bit of fun. So, team news then. Aled, we'll go with you first then. What do you expect? So Amy has already started us off, really. She said no changes from Norwich. So where would you go?
I'd say very similar side to what we had with Norwich. Probably say same formation as well, given that it's working for us. And with the attacking threat that City can put at us, I think having that flexibility to sort of go more defensive, more attacking, soak up that pressure like we've been doing all season, and then sort of, counter-attack or go through the phases as such and get the ball forward into those attacking positions. I'd say the only thing that could potentially change is maybe the front three, give or take, maybe one rotation out, can't remember who someone mentioned about maybe rotating Ayew out.
Yeah, I said Ayew for Morris.
Yeah, that's an option, or Low for Morris. So I don't think we'll see much of a changed team, but I think there might be a little bit of rotation. If someone's looking a bit jagged, then they might come out for somebody else. But as mentioned before, I think we've got the depth to deal with whatever, and I think Cooper should make the right decision nonetheless.
Okay, Lee, who are you going to go with for this one?
I think, like I said, I've changed my mind a couple of times, but I'm really excited for it now. I think go for it. I would go with unchanged from Norwich, unless he wants to maybe just rotate like he's done with the back three. He might bring Cabango back in, maybe, and rest another one. But other than that, I don't think he's going to make any changes. I fancy us to go for it.
Okay, John.
And then again, sorry.
No, go on, carry on.
And I was going to say, and again, if we can go for it, and if we're 3-0 down after 50 minutes, then he can empty the bench and ring the players in. So yeah, I think I'd keep it as it is and go for it.
One thing I did forget is that Sheffield are they're in the relegation battle.
Sheffield Wednesday, they are, but just remember they had a minus 9 point deduction. So I know they're fighting to get out of relegation now, but if they didn't have that deduction, they wouldn't be looking so bad.
Yeah, that's true.
So bit of a false position where they are on the table.
Yeah, that's true. Well, yeah, three from the last 5 wins. Fair. So I think their form is probably half decent. I don't know what they've been doing.
They go Wickham tonight, so I'm expecting them to win that one as well.
Yeah, that's true. Never mind.
That's all right. Well, John, what do you think then? What's your team news?
I'd slightly go against what the lads are saying, to be honest. I can see it's that dilemma in it. Do you put out your same 11 and risk, I don't want to sound negative, but risk conceding 2 or 3 and sort of upsetting the apple cart? Or personally, I'd make a few changes. I mean, obviously no player is going to want to get dropped to play against one of the best teams in the world, but I can see a few. Latterboard might come in. Hamer might start in goal. I think Connor Roberts deserves a rest. Obviously, he won't want to get dropped, but looking at the bigger picture, I'd make a couple of changes. I would. I mean, Hamer, Latterboard, I'd love to see Brandon Cooper come in, but whether that's a bit extreme, to sort of mix it up that much. But I think Hamer, Latterboard, Freeman possibly in, and then I'd probably keep the same, and obviously get the boys on the bench, the American lads. I'd like to see Ollie Cooper get some time, but I suppose there's so many options there. It depends. If he wants to go strong and proper go for it, then I agree, make no changes. But I'd always, if I was in his boots, I would sort of have an eye on Saturday, and I'd rest a few and sort of see where we go.
Yeah, same. If I was playing Football Manager right now, I would definitely be making changes. But I'm not the one making decisions. But I think you've got to shout like Hamer's come in. When's he going to play if he doesn't play today? I know next season potentially if Woodman's not here, but I think Hamer might get a run out. Although Woodman did play the last, didn't he? So it's a big game. So it's difficult.
Hamer's cup tied.
That's right. Yeah, we did discuss this last time.
I just remembered. We talked about it last time.
No, that is correct. We just forgot, but we looked into that before the last review on Forest. So he is cup tied. There we are. Then Woodman will be playing in the goal. I think you're right, though. I think Connor Roberts probably needs a rest. Not sure if he will get one. But we've just signed Freeman and potentially Areola can play there. So start with Freeman, probably he's been here longer. Areola, I'm expecting to see him on the bench. I think one of the three centre-backs from last time to go Norton, Bennett and Geehee. Either Norton or Bennett, I think is going to change out for Cabango. I don't know if he'll start Latterbodia. I think he's going to keep it quite strong, so I think subbing one of them out and keeping the other two, or maybe sub half time if it's to see how it goes. But just to keep it like so, one of them's having half, the other one's having half to keep them fresh for the weekend. I think Bidwell for Manning is another one that's potentially going to happen. I think that's, I would say, probably one of the more likely changes because I think Manning deserves game time because him and Bidwell, I would say, have been on par for their performances. So it's harsh that he's being left out normally. The midfield three then, I don't really want to change it to be honest, but Smith, I would say he's come back from injury, probably will be on the bench, so one will switch out potentially. But then do you play the three of them and then, this is that thing again, isn't it? All three of them going to be playing a long match before, especially if it went into extra time or whatever, before the weekend, so it's difficult to stand to come in. I personally would say he's not going to. But then up front, I already said, I think Morris will start. Don't know who will get dropped for him, or even if he was the player playing behind the front two. But I don't think AU and Lowe will both start. I think he's had history in the cup competitions of making sure he rests them. I can't see Whittaker starting. But I didn't really give much about what I would pick as a team, but that's my views on what he's going to do. It's quite a hard one to call, though, which I think we've all touched on that. Lee, I'm surprised you didn't talk about your little formation change you like to suggest.
That's funny enough. I was literally just thinking that now when you were talking. I think, wouldn't this be the game where he just pulls that out of the bag? He's gonna do it at some point. I'm sure he is. He's just gonna, whether it be later on in the season where it's a big game, and he just pulls out two wingers and goes, like a 4-2-3-1 or something, and ditches the formation. I don't think he'll do it. I don't think he'll do it against Man City because the way we set up to defend.
Areola's probably not ready to start. I think.
Yeah, I don't think he'll do it tomorrow. But wouldn't it be great? It's going to be one of those games he just pulls it out randomly.
It would be good.
Yeah, but no, I can't see him do it tomorrow. I'd love to see it though.
Okay, and score predictions then. So John, we'll start with you in this one. Putting you on the spot.
Yeah, I know. I hate to sound negative. I'm as optimistic as any other Swans fan, especially the way we're playing.
Stop trying to save your neck, will you?
I'm going to go 1-1 into... Would it go straight to penalties or would it go extra time?
I said extra time just now, but I don't actually know. I don't think it's a replay. I think that's guaranteed. So I'm going to say that is extra time and then penalties. I think that's what the last round was. Don't know about this round.
It's gonna be it's gonna be tight, but I honestly think we'll give them a good game. But I think fitness and I think a lot of things will come into play towards the latter stages of the game, and I can see us losing. Unfortunately, I'm gonna go 2-1 Man City.
Yeah, okay, 2-1 Man City. Alid?
I don't know. I think if we play a similar team to against Norwich, I think defensively we are sound, or relatively sound.
Yeah, against teams in the Championship.
Against City, though, is a different question altogether. I think could be a close game, but I'm probably going to go with 2-1 to City.
Okay. You said about being defensively sound. This is the sort of game that Chelsea could look at Guéhi and be like, he's ready. Or he's not ready.
Yeah, that's
true.
That's true.
So that's something to worth looking at.
Also, well, it's the same with all these games, though. When you play like Man City, every player's in the shop window, and then you look at Horahan. He probably wanted a Premier League move, didn't he, rather than drop back down to the Championship. Ayew had a contract at the end of the season. They're all in the shop window.
Yeah.
Games like this, so I'll raise it.
What's your score then?
I'm the opposite of John. As you know, I always think negative. I always expect the worst, and then everything else is a bonus. But I'm buzzing for it now for tomorrow. I think we're going to give them a game. I think I'm going to go 2-1 Swans.
Oh, roles
reversed. Depends. I think with I know Man City have had some good results in there recently, but they have had some games like they played Sheffield United at home and they won 1-0, didn't they? And they beat Brighton at home 1-0 recently. So I don't see why. It depends if they score in the first 5 minutes. It's going to be a different game. But the way we've been defensively, if we can keep them out for 20, 30 minutes going into half time, and then they will concede a chance to us. They do concede chances, Man City do. So I don't see why we can't.
Especially if they rotate their centre backs, because obviously Stones and Diaz have been good. But if they rotate them, hopefully that will be something that we can exploit. I'm going to go with
Garcia.
It suits.
Yeah.
It suits us, though, doesn't it? Like if you look at most of the games that we've won this season, I know Norwich was a bit different because we did come out a bit more, but most of the games we played this season, we did sit back, and Man City are going to have most of the ball anyway.
Yeah,
it does kind of suit us. I'd like to see Morris come on, maybe a bit on the counter attack with his pace, but I fancy it now. I've just convinced myself.
Well, I hope you're right. I really do. You're going along with the same scoreline that Amy suggested earlier on. I think you mentioned Norwich and then the Brentford games recently as well. So I think obviously we didn't play well against Brentford. We were trying to soak them up a lot. But then we kind of, second half against Norwich, managed to do that sort of game plan, soaking them up. But we're better going forward and better at doing the soaking up. So it's kind of like they adapted and tweaked it and it worked a little bit better then. I think we're going to see a repeat of that style of game where we're soaking up a lot of Man City and trying to get them on the break. And Morris coming in will hopefully result in a positive there. But I've already commented somewhere on Facebook about what my prediction was. I'm just going to keep it consistent. I said 3-1 Man City, unfortunately. I would happily love to be proved wrong. But I just think maybe we'll go ahead. Maybe Morris, on the break will go ahead and we'll be holding on. It'll just get a little bit too much. And then when one goes in, I just feel like with Man City, they'll get a couple more then.
Momentum.
Yeah, and that's what happened against Cheltenham, really, isn't it? Cheltenham went 1-0 up, and then Man City came back with 3.
They went ahead though from a long throw, didn't they? I think it was.
Connor Roberts, step up. But yeah, look, and 3-1 wouldn't necessarily be a bad result. It depends how the game goes, and I wouldn't be disappointed if what I said plays out, and that's what happens. At the end of the day, they've got quality that could win them a Champions League by the end of the season, so you cannot be too disappointed. And I think that's where the expectations need to be kept a little bit in check here. As long as, and I'm sure most people will appreciate that it's a tough game and won't get too much on the back of players. But hopefully we'll get a positive result tomorrow. Otherwise, we get a good performance and we move on to Sheffield on the weekend. Anyway, that's been a good discussion, lads. But one last thing before we head off. Lee, you put a poll up on the Twitter yesterday about Swansea's best FA Cup performance. Obviously, we were limited to 4 options, being a poll on Twitter. So go West Ham 1999, Preston 2004, Sheffield United 2007, and Man City 2019. Man City 2019 has just been edged out by West Ham 1999. Got anything you'd like to say on that game?
That was.
Was it actually?
I can't.
My first,
Well, like
the first
live.
game I ever watched the Swans at West Ham game. Martin Thomas, we beat them 1-0. We got that was, and I've been hooked ever since for my sins. But yeah, that's up there. That's up with it. Obviously because it's the first game I ever seen, and it made me fall in love with the Swans. But yeah, that West Ham, I never forget that night. Unbelievable.
I'll be honest, I was 6 at the time when my parents hated football, so I have no memory of it. But
I wasn't even born. So.
Go on, Lee.
God,
baby,
that's
baby
really
in the corner.
I know.
Oh my God. That's quite sad now. But,
Gotta remember it's 2021.
Yeah,
so
I think I think that one, just the gulf in the sides, like where we were back then, like little old Swansea at the Vetch, West Ham coming down from the Premier League. That is probably the biggest FA Cup win for us. But I don't know. The Preston one, that's probably because I was a little bit older and understood it a bit more. But the Preston one with Andy Robinson's free kick and Lee Trundle scoring. That one it's probably that's my favourite, the Preston one. It was just
another one as well. I can't remember it. I can't remember if it was in the poll or not. But we beat Sheffield United away from home. I think Thomas Butler scored 2, and we won 3-0 up there. I went away to that game, and that was an unbelievable.
Yeah. That was when
we were.
Were
they in there as well? Was Sheffield?
Yeah, that one was in there. The Sheffield United one.
Yeah, so that had 25%.
Yeah, that's a big one. That was.
So West Ham was 33%, Man City was 29%, and Sheffield United was 25%. What about Havant and Waterlooville? Or should we just end it on that one?
No.
On that note?
There was a couple. There was a couple I wanted to put in as well, though, because you can only put 4 in, can you? And I was thinking, like I said earlier, we had Portsmouth in where we went away. They'd won it the previous year, I think. And we went to Fratton Park and won 2-0.
Yeah,
we were in League One. That was a good one. And I remember Fulham, when we had Fulham, we took them to a replay, and we had Man United waiting in the next round, and we went 1-0 up away in the replay. Jason Scotland scored, and then we lost. It was devastated that waiting for Man United in the next round.
Trip down memory lane. We'll have to
looking back.
We'll have to look back further in the next podcast or something.
Didn't we do United away?
Yeah.
2014, I think it was. We won 2-1.
Yeah, it was 2013 or 2014 was one of them. I was looking earlier on. I said to start earlier, but us losing 7 out of the last 8 Premier League ties in the FA Cup. That was the one we didn't lose.
Yeah, I think it was Key.
Key
Sung Young scored, and I can't remember is it Boney, maybe?
Yeah. I guess, like, in terms of looking at the best FA Cup performances, because we were in the Premier League at the time and playing the likes of Man United regular, perhaps that doesn't necessarily rank as high. Still a good win, nonetheless, but just when you're comparing it to the others. But yeah, this is something I think we could revisit if in a proper podcast down the line. Obviously, this was just a quick one for a little bit of a engagement with the Twitter. Try and get some more polls on there, and let us know in the comments as well if there's a different one that we've missed out, or which one is your favourite FA Cup performance from the Swans. And on that note, we will be ending the video. So thank you if you did manage to get this far. And if you did manage to get this far, please hit that subscribe button. Again, it helps us grow. It means a lot. I just want to also say another thank you to Amy Clement for the video she's provided us, and hopefully we'll hear more from her in the future. And anyone else that wants to get involved, feel free to let us know and we'll see what we can do. Don't forget to join our Discord as well, which is now linked in the comments and on our Twitter, where we can grow the community and you can get involved a little bit more easier through the Discord. It just allows us to engage a little bit easier on there. And again, if you did like the video, don't forget to hit the thumbs up, because that does massively support us. And then that's been it from me, so I shall see you all later.
See you soon.
To the next one, hopefully.
In a bit, guys.
Cheers, lads.